For mortgage advice tailored towards your individual needs, contact PGB Mortgages today. Let them guide you through your home buying journey. Contact details are in the description.
What's happening, people? I hope you're all well. So, Jake Paul defeats Mike Tyson in a unanimous decision over 8 2-minute rounds. Let's talk about it. But first things first, the opinion you should follow should be your own. This is the opinion from a complete stranger online. Please be responsible when competing in the markets. So I've just got back from the boxing gym myself, actually. And at 30 years old, I'm quite impressed. You know, I'm not the best boxer in the world, but when you stay really relaxed in the ring, you'd be surprised how many rounds you can do. This video is not about me, so I'm going to stop talking about that, but it's on my mind because I've just done it. But being relaxed in the ring makes such a difference. I remember when I was in my early 20s and I just started boxing. I was a fit lad, but I got tired after a round or two because I was so tense. But now, even though I'm probably past my physical peak, I can go more rounds because I'm more relaxed. But anyway, Jake Paul beats Mike Tyson, and if you placed a bet on Jake Paul to win the fight outright, then you generate a profit, and that is what this channel is all about. In my previous video about this fight on this channel, I spoke about a few things. I spoke about the fact that Jake Paul, although being a novice, although not fighting at a high level, and although his wins aren't that impressive, he is a young man. He's in his 20s, he's in the prime of his life. He has some power. He has some athleticism. And when you go up against someone, whether they're a legend of the game or not, but they're in their 50s, it's most likely going to end up one way. Because you can have all the knowledge in the world, but when your body can't do it anymore, that knowledge is essentially useless in that form. That's why, you know, when you can't do it anymore, that's when you're supposed to take a seat, become a coach and pass your knowledge on, not still be fighting near 60 years old. So, you know, Mike Tyson knows what he has to do, but cannot do it. And that is something in life. Sometimes you can know how to do something, but still be unable to do it for physical capability. You haven't got the money. And so this is what it is. Mike Tyson knew how to win, he just couldn't. And Jake Paul, he stuck to a simple game plan on the back foot with his jab, and then using the jab to lead off, you know, and then that would turning a jab into a right hand or an uppercut, or very basic stuff. And Jake Paul was not a high level boxer, but it was enough to beat a 58-year-old Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson, albeit had spurts and spots where he tried to let his hands go, but you can tell the spring had gone from Mike Tyson. He's got no spring, he's got no reflexes, his punch resistance. He's still a tough man, but he hasn't got the punch resistance of the past, you know. The coordination's not there anymore, and he is a shell of his former self. People were falling for the mystique of Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson has this mystique, and I saw YouTube and Instagram comments of people saying, oh, Jake Paul doesn't know what he's letting himself in for. Oh, Mike Tyson bites people's ears. Jake Paul's a YouTuber. What do you expect's going to happen? Jake Paul's going to get knocked out. People even thinking Mike Tyson could have a run at the heavyweight division now. And I'm glad, if anything, Jake Paul has put that to bed. Mike Tyson is in no fit and safe state to take a charge at the heavyweight division. And even after the Roy Jones Jr. fight, Mike Tyson has been past it for years, 20-something years. You know, he looked poor against Danny Williams. He looked poor against Kevin McBride. These were his last fights as a pro prior to the Jake Paul fight. And then he came back against Roy Jones Jr. and he looked poor in that fight. And when I say poor, I'm putting it into perspective in terms of how good he was before. So did people think that he was going to be better against Jake Paul than the Kevin McBride and Danny Williams fights? People, you need to be realistic, you know. So I thought that the only sensible bet to place was the Jake Paul outright win. I didn't know if he was going to get the knockout. And I also thought if you really wanted to hedge the play and play it safe, hedge it with Mike Tyson by KO, because, you know, the power's the last thing to go, although I think that's gone now. And a 50-something-year-old man is not going to win on points. He's not going to have the stamina to consistently chip away and win on points. So it was what it was. I hope there was no one listening to this video who placed a bet on Mike Tyson to win the fight, because if you did, the only things I saw plausible as gamblers, the only plausible way I saw this market going was Jake Paul to win outright. If you really wanted to hedge the play, and I didn't really think it, you know, really wanted to hedge the play because you were a little bit worried, hedge it with Mike Tyson by KO. The only concern I had with this market was the draw, because if this was going to be some sort of fight that wasn't real, if you catch my drift, then they might have just, no matter who dominated or who won or whatever, they just give it a draw. And as gamblers, we lose everything, not because of legitimate reasons, but because in the good spirit of things, they just give it as a draw, whoever actually won the fight, and then your money is down the drain. That was my only concern. These are the concerns you need to have in these freak show fights. Always be aware that when it's a freak show car crash type of fight, Mayweather, Conor McGregor, Mike Tyson, Jake Paul, Anderson Silva, you just need to keep it in your mind that these fights are not like regular fights, and sometimes these fights can be given a draw just in the good spirits of the fight, and then everyone who places bets, you know, you lose your money, and you know, you walk away from the situation a little bitter because you're like, well, I predicted this, I analysed it until I was blue in the face, it played out, and I know my guy won, but my guy got given a draw, and now I lose all my money. So that's what you have to be careful of in these type of fights. But ultimately, Jake Paul, I thought Jake Paul was going to win if it was real. Jake Paul won with ease. Let's put the Mike Tyson mystique to bed. Mike Tyson was a fantastic fighter. Mike Tyson, possibly the most entertaining fighter of all time. I didn't say best, because I don't know if he was the best. You know, Mike Tyson, amazing footwork and power and precision and athleticism in his prime. But let's just put it all to bed in the sense that Mike Tyson now is what biology, you know, gives him. Biology gives him at this stage. Mike Tyson is what nature and biology has him be at this time of his life, and that is a 58-year-old man who fights and looks like a 58-year-old man. I'm just happy he didn't get hurt. I'm happy that he made the distance. If anything, that's the biggest credit you can give Mike Tyson. A man nearly 60 went the distance with someone 20-something years old. That in itself is a victory, in my opinion. And Jake Paul gets the win. And if you followed my advice, or if you took my advice into consideration when creating your portfolio, then you walked away with profit. Let me know what you think. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, hit the notification bell so you get a notification when I make a new video. If you appreciate my work and want to leave a donation, there's a link for that in the description. And with that, enjoy the rest of your day. See you on the next one.